Okay. Alright. This should work. Alright. There we go. Maybe I'll lower my sound a little bit here. Alright, can't do it like that. Alright, there we go. Okay, guys. Bro's sleeping. Okay then, here's how we're gonna do things. I haven't streamed in a bit. We'll be talking, but we'll be also playing some good old-fashioned Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, first things first. Obviously, as you can see, hopefully somewhat decently well. Here's what I might do actually. One more time. I'm trying to raise the, kilobytes per second to hopefully get as best possible. So hopefully you can see how it works. But the idea is we're going to be playing some Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, doing a few things. Probably doing some Blueberry quests to get the BP up. And then I have four treats to do. So, you know how it is. This thing, man. But yeah, so I have the 4 treats. I have not been able to catch these 3 or 4. But we'll see. Let me first show off a few things. So, this is all my Pokemon. I have this legendary box. Recently caught all 4 of the Ruinous Pokemon. I caught like 1 or 2, but I finished catching all of them. And then I caught the 2 other Paradox legendaries for Violet, which is Iron Boulder and Iron Crown. So now I have the Paradox versions of the Swords of Justice. I don't have Keldeo, obviously, but that's okay. So, all cool. But now, this is you can see my Pokemon here. I'm raising a Golden Goo and a Zoroark, and so I was using the item printer at the Elite Club, and I was able to get another lucky egg, which I've been trying to get for a while off chances and whatnot. But I got one randomly through the item printer, which is pretty cool. So that's pretty nice. One thing I've actually worked on here is trying to complete the Pokedex. I've never really completed a Pokedex in Pokemon before. I am close. I'm basically where I'm at without having to play through Scarlet. I'm gonna have to play through Scarlet, which I do have. I just haven't played through it yet. It's because I need this one, which is a Scarlet exclusive. I need the Charcadet evolution, the Scarlet exclusive Charcadet evolution. Where is that one? Here. I need this one, and then I need the paradox. Basically, I need the paradoxes, which I've got a few through Wonder Trading, but this takes freaking forever. I've gotten a few here through Wonder Trading, but most I still need a few more. And it's the kind of thing where, and also at the end of the day, no matter what, I need Koraidon. So, or is this, oh, freaking Koraidon, sorry. I need Koraidon, so I need, and the only way to actually get a Koraidon that you can transfer is actually like by beating the whole game. So, that's the kind of idea. And then Kitakami, I've I've worked on it a little bit, but still not fully. And then here, I've gotten 202. I've gotten a lot of the starters actually through Wonder Trading, so that's the kind of the fun thing. Anyway, I got the track shoe, and I think actually they did something funny. So for Violet, they give you like a Scarlet one, and I'm pretty sure if you play Scarlet, they give you a Violet track suit, which is kind of cool. I might have to we'll do that. So, I think we'll start off with trying to get these legendaries. Well, I'll talk about, the main thing is talking about, you know, Pokemon Legends ZA, but also just Pokemon in general. It's Balneon. Pokemon Violets, here we go. Blah, 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 blah. I don't really care that I'm looking it up. Guess. Freaking, that's where it is. Oh, that, the bamboo. But, you know, I'm looking forward to what this, but also, so I guess we'll talk about first things first. This thing, like, this is obviously Scarlet, or this is Violet, on Switch 2. So I got a Switch 2, obviously. That's why it runs so well. This thing, it's not, it's, to be fair, it's not perfect. Really, it's not. I have noticed it mainly runs pretty well. I think it's right over there. It mainly runs well. There are times where there are like some performance issues. There's still some visual glitches, obviously. And you might not be able to see it fully on the performance, because I don't know how well. Thing is, where is my boy Cobalion? Oh. Literally right down there. Alright, this is Samurai Man, boxes. No, not boxes. Bag. Give him a held item here. I'll give this to here, and then save. And this Cobalion. All right. funnily enough, what actually kind of works with this is that the song's pretty good, obviously, but I was okay. I was doing my whole setup. Thank goodness for quick balls. My boy Cobalian. Okay, well that was really quickly. Really quickly. That went very quickly. Alright, well then obviously next is do Virizion and then Terrakion. And then we'll do Spectre. But funnily enough, for let's see here. For the Swords of Justice, if you guys remember correctly, which fair enough if you don't, I've been going through Pokemon games, and okay, so literally close. They're all probably really close then. Makes sense with the Swords of Justice. Wait, did I pick the right spot? I was not the right spot. Did not pick the right spot. Okay. But I just finished Pokemon White, and I'm playing White too, which I'm enjoying so far. But so I went and caught a lot. I went and caught a few of the Swords of Justice in White, which is pretty cool because they're cool Pokemon. I obviously didn't use them, but it's kind of bringing it a lot more. I know a lot more about them now, and I've caught them, so which is pretty dang cool if I do say so myself. All right. Alright, Virizion. Would like it if I could just, quick ball. There we go. Yeah, that's why you throw the first turn quick ball. It usually doesn't work, but it's always best to do it, and I ain't gonna do crap to me. Alright, start off with Thunder Wave. Ah, crap. Alright. Thunder Wave. There we go. So now it's slower than me. Ah, crap. Alright. The thing is, I don't, Swords is really dangerous, actually, because it probably will one-shot with a close combat. It's gonna one-shot, isn't it? It's got a Leaf Blade, I just realized. Oh, crap, okay. Alright, it's low enough. Gonna chuck Dust Balls. Man, this thing's being a pain in the rear. Alright. So close, man. Oh. Alright, let's spam Ultra Balls. Let's go! Dang it, man. That was took forever. Too long. I mean, it didn't take long, but like it was. What did not go as smoothly as I wished it went. Okay, there's Verizon. Put a Pokemon Center here first, and then go for the Terrakion. Now for Spectrier, I actually have a strategy. Well, it's not like probably optimal sometimes, and I'll do it first. There's one thing actually I gotta do first. Can I make a false swipe TM? Where is false swipe? I already have a false swipe TM. Bag. Actually, alright, no. There we go. This will be a lot better. All these are good moves. I'll just take a. I mean, again, like with this, you can literally, like with how it is now, it's so easy to like learn moves and stuff like that. So, which is something I'm not really used to. Here, I'll give this to you so you can flinch. Alright, where's Terrakion? I guess we should be talking about Legends ZA. I mean, that was a cool trailer. I mean, I'm really looking forward to the game. Where's Violet Terrakion? Alright, Terrakion is pretty far. Alright. Thankfully Terrakion is ground type. But for Spectre, I have an idea. I have to use because again, for my strategy is I use Thunder Wave, and it's not the best. I think Sleep, although I think actually Freeze is the best technically. But also Freeze is like one of the most like you can't like. There's no move called Freeze Ray. You can't, and poison and burn hurt the opponent, so you can't put him down to 1 HP. Which I guess is kind of like the, although, but then you have sleep. And sleep is obviously one of the best, but it's also limited. The moves are never 100% accurate. The moves are never 100% accurate, and Thunderwave just keeps going, which is nice. Alright, here we go. I'm really glad. I hope they continue to do this. I mean, it's a thing in Pokemon that they've done, like, a lot, which is just have older encounters, older legendaries just in the games. Now, of course, back in those days... Oh, crap. Here we go. Alright, got him down to 1. There we go. Literally all I need to do, because it's rock, not ground type, so... And there we go. Now, as long as I can survive... Alright. Shrunk Master Balls. Or Ultra Balls. Man. Ah, dang it. Bro, he's getting to the point he'll one-shot any Pokemon now. If he gets into Zoroark, I'll freaking chuck a Master Ball at him. Alright, frick this. There's not really any reason anyway. Like, what am I going to use it on? Spectrier? And I've already gotten other Master Balls. I've gotten other Master Balls before. I take advantage of, Man, that thing almost one-shotted on my whole team. I mean, it's strong. That's for sure. Sorry, I was really focused on that. But I mean, it's just how it is. Like, ZA looked good. Like, it does. It does look really good, actually. I don't want to blow your eardrums out. Alright, there we go. That's a lot better. But ZA looked good. And I liked what I saw. I am interested, obviously, with, like, what they're gonna try doing for certain things. Alright, not bag, boxes. Alright. Because Spectre is ghost type and you can't use ghost type. I can't use okay. Literally right there. Alright, gotcha. Obviously we got more information on like how, like, kind of the actual story direction, like what we're actually going to be doing, which is kind of important. I have seen people criticize what we got for the trailer, like what it showed, and I can understand it because it's been so long. Like, although now the marketing is really going to get into full swing because like the game comes out in a few months. Like, I expect we get another trailer next month, and then another trailer. Like, you'll get some more stuff. But they have been kind of weird with their marketing. Hopefully it pays off. Obviously, this is a game that people are... It's an important game. Alright. Start off here. Alright. Here we are. It's got speed improvement. So, Thunderwave. I was trying to disable my moves. Oh wait, no, is it gonna confuse them? Oh crap! Come on, is it gonna hit? It's gonna hit itself if I don't do it in time. If you could. Let's go! I caught all of them. Oh. Okay. I wonder if he says anything. I doubt it, but I wanted to catch all the. I never caught all the legendaries. I haven't done any of the group stuff, but I'm gonna be playing Violet or Scarlet anyways, so like I don't really care. This Mr. Cyrano. And here's the boy. I get him, Mr. Snacky. Alright. Well, that was... Now I can really talk about it, because everything else is going to be pretty, you know... Maybe if I lower the sound a little bit. For me, at least. Alright. We'll do some discussions about ZA. But I saw people criticizing the trailer because, you know... Again, it has been a long time for the marketing, and... That's... It's just... what they've shown is minimal. But it's kind of what's needed, like... But it really hasn't, though. Like... Yes, they haven't shown as many megas as people probably wanted. Like, we got Dragonite today. That was the first new mega. But, like, we've kind of gotten what we probably should be getting. You see the people in the fun. Sure, do it. I'm just gonna do some BB Quest, but like I will just But like to be fair, like what we've gotten so far, especially with this trailer, we've gotten like the basic kind of story outline of like what we're gonna be doing, and like the premise is like, oh, we're gonna be part of this team that's gonna help try to keep this place safe, and oh crap, it's gonna mess up my Graveler. I'm just gonna release him. What else I gotta do here? But we got the basic story outline. We're just like, we know what we're kind of meant to be doing in the game, and like we got like kind of where the mystery's gonna be. You know, with the megas. If you look on the website, it was an alpha Pokemon are back, so that kind of stuff there. We got like more information on the battle system, which is obviously the most interesting thing for me, especially because like it's real time. Like, that's thinking awesome. It's just how it is, though. I mean, it's how it works. I don't want to fight you. Here's a Chansey. But like, I don't know much more what they like. There's maybe obviously there can be always more they could show, but like, I don't know how much more you would want to be shown. I mean, there'll be some new stuff, obviously. There's gonna be a few more megas revealed and some other things, but like they've shown a lot of what like the basic stuff of the game is without really going into deep, like, you know, I think more. I think what I would like to see more of, obviously, besides more megas, is more like an actual real explanation of the battle system. Or like to see the battle system in actual playing, like what it's actually like to play the battle, to do these battles, because we've seen a little bit. I just like, you know, it's obviously edited footage. And oh, there's Sobble. Terror battle, frick you. Oh, it's Wild Charmander. They're actually doing the whole like wild, you know, wild starter thing, which is really cool. But yeah, I mean, again, I would like to see more of the battle system in action, and obviously, I would like to see some more megas. But like, we're not, and like, it'd be cool to see some new characters, and we'll be seeing that. But a lot of it is like just so you can play the dang game. I don't know. It was a very like it is kind of like these Pokemon Presents are very no, they're very basic. I mean, they had a new style this time for the Pokemon Presents. They were a lot more just get to the point, which is like kind of the point, I guess. That's what they want to do. They want to just get to the point. Okay. Is it a lower raid? Don't have me a low start raid. Flying types. Change Pokemon. We'll do this here. You can really notice the having better performance in Switch 2. It's so good. Makes this game a lot better. I mean, again, like they're doing a good job, I think, mostly. But again, there's just been radio silence. They announced it, and then a year went by before they did anything further. Like that's literally the case. They did a year before anything actually happened. So I'll do Electro Drift. Yeah, one-shotted. Makes sense. Here we go. This is what I wanted to use. This is one of the fastest Pokemon in here's the one thing I do I kind of am a little remiss about the battle system is that, like, especially with the existence of this, which is obviously kind of a... This is kind of... I mean, again, every game has this kind of iteration most of the time. A lot of things from Legends Arceus were put into Scarlet and Violet. And then a lot of things from Scarlet and Violet are going to be popped into Legends ZA. And ZA is also going to have an influence over Gen 10 and other games. I mean, it's just kind of how it works. We're not really controlling our Pokemon. And I was talking with a friend, and he was like, well, it would just be Pokken. I don't exactly think that would be the case. I would think it would be more like... I mean, I think it would still be like... I mean, it obviously depends on what the actual battle system is. It just depends, but... There we go. This is really fun. But obviously this is also just kind of very limited in scope. There we go. And I just wish we could actually control our Pokemon. I don't know. It's kind of just my thing. But I think they've shown... Like, it's interesting to see how they're going to do it. And obviously, it kind of shows, like, this is still kind of its own game. And they haven't done the lore stuff. And they really have... They've really teased... They've really kind of not shown what Zygarde's involvement is and stuff like that. So... And I think it's going to go deep. I think, like, X and Y... Without having actually finished those games, but knowing what happens and knowing one thing, it's like... So actually, this is kind of something I was talking to myself about. Because after I finished Black and White, X and Y is like... It probably has the most interesting lore in all Pokemon. Because Pokemon's always had interesting lore. Obviously, you could say, oh, what about Sinnoh? Sinnoh is interesting, obviously. It's very... But what I would say is that, like... It's kind of esoteric. And because of that, it makes it... Kalos' main thing is the war. And it's something that kind of just, like... It seems so, like... Like, it's something that you would think that would be talked about in Pokemon. It's been, like, talked about, but never, like, even shown, like, through, like, that kind of, like... It was actually, like, shown through the mural kind of thing. And it's, like... It's just something, like... And it's a lot more tangible of a war. Of a war between Pokemon. And it's just... It's like lore that is like it's a lot more relatable, like a lot more easier to understand, and a lot more, you know, again, tangible and not as esoteric as like the Arceus lore. And so it's like that's why I think it's like the most interesting, especially because like Pokemon fanfic writers everywhere have been ever since they, you know, that line from Lieutenant Surge about they helped me in the war, which by the way is kind of retconned. Let's Go is obviously not canon in a sense to like the main games, but like it also kind of reflects how they want to do Kanto, and they edited that line out in the localization at least. I mean, maybe it was a localization change. Need to do this. I don't like using that. But like, so Black and White is actually one of the best stories in the game. Although I would also say this is also one of the better stories, like even better than Black and White in a sense, because it does a lot more, and it also has some interesting lore with like the paradox of whatever. But Black and White like is one of the has really cool lore, but it's also very localized to the story, and so it, like the story uses the lore pretty well to do the thing. X and Y has some of the coolest lore in Pokemon. The issue is that it has like it's one of like the worst game stories around. It's just not like the lore is cool, but it's also X and Y. Not only is it like one of like people will even say like it's kind of where this modern Pokemon thing started. It's just like it's not. It doesn't like live up to the lore in a way that I wish it could. And obviously there is a sense because the game's kind of incomplete, even though it's not. Like, it's still a full game, but it is incomplete, and it's because there's no post game, especially. Like, it's got barely any post game. Which is an issue. But it's still like it was still like a full kind of game. Obviously I think there was probably development issues, and there was they were going to, you know, to get all the Pokemon into 3D and whatever. Which, by the way, if people want to say like that the lazy Pokemon thing started at Gen 6, they're actually freaking wrong. Like, they're freaking wrong, bro. Pokemon was getting lazy in Gen 5 with the old Pokemon. Now, maybe they fixed it a little bit. I have noticed the animations a lot, but like some of the old Pokemon, because again, all the Pokemon up till Gen 5 were popped into the game, and you could get them in the post game, and they all had animated sprites. But if you look at some of those animated sprites, a lot of the older Pokemon that were popped in were very like they were really cheap animation. Like, it's very, very bad animation. It's very not as detailed. And honestly, I mean, it's like it's so little. So they were already cheapening out, in a sense, in Gen 5. Of course, it was just, you know, tiny animated sprites, and I agree with some people who like wish that Pokemon could have handled that a lot better, because they could have. Animated sprites, like it's a really, like, the battle system in Black and White is like really good, and it's what makes the game so good. Like, it's got this cool story and all this cool stuff, and it's also just a fun game to play. X and Y is not exactly. I mean, especially the story, it has, you know, it's a downgrade in some ways. It has pretty, like, one of the best things about Black and White is its side characters. Like, it's your main trio, and obviously, and it's probably one of the most interesting characters in Pokemon. And obviously, I'm still going through his story in his sequel, but like, you don't have that in X and Y, even from what I know. And again, I have not finished X and Y. That's what I want to do before ZA comes out. But I do know what happens. I have seen playthroughs, and I've played through enough of X and Y. Like, it's just they give you a squad, but they don't do anything with them. The freaking anime does it better with them, obviously. The anime obviously has more, because they actually happen to be characters. But it's just, there's not much to do with those characters. And it's obviously incomplete, and it's just sucks, because like Black and White didn't have this issue. Black and White, while there are some issues with its story, especially with how it ends a little too quickly, it tells its full story, and it leaves hints for a sequel, which was already in development at the time. X and Y, it has a lot of loose ends, but not much actual, like, it's just eh. And it has like the most interesting, like, the idea of this war, which again, like, people have been talking about a Pokemon War. Obviously, this is not the Pokemon War that Surge would have been discussing, obviously. But, like, the idea of a war with Pokemon. And it actually was shown. Like, it's not even just barely mentioned in, like, some side dialogue here and there. It was a big part of the story. And it led to nothing. And it was a game that just didn't live up to that point. Which obviously they're video games, so they have that kind of thing. Like Black and White, while it also has a really good story, especially for Pokemon, it also, like, is a fun game. And like, you know, there are issues. It's original. So people will defend having to use original only using the Unova Pokemon, which I can actually understand, having used some of them. It does force you to get out of your comfort zone, and I'm not really a person who plays Pokemon who's in it. I don't really have too many like Pokemon I just always want to have. I usually try to use, especially during these playthroughs, I try to use newer Pokemon as much as possible. Obviously I do like classics. I like those Pokemon, but the one thing is that also does mean you're gonna have to use the decks, and so you're gonna have a lot more criticism of the decks, and that means you're gonna have like, and honestly, you can have a lot of these same criticisms not same criticisms because but like, if you really think about like Kanto's decks, there's kind of like they're all classics, but there's some issues with these Pokemon. It's not like all the Kanto Pokemon are winners. Unfortunately, Kanto has a lot of just objectively terrible Pokemon that just suck. And now a lot of them, there's also a lot of cool Pokemon. But like Kanto has it like, so when you have only a certain number of Pokemon of like only this region, then you're gonna have issues. Later Pokemon games really shine, and even Black and White shines as well, Black and White 2, in that like, no, like it has its own original Pokemon, and also it mixes in new or old favorites, old Pokemon and new Pokemon, and it allows it to fill out a bigger decks that has a lot more options and a lot more ways to fix issues or whatever. So people will defend certain Gen 5 Pokemon, but the reason, honestly, I think one of the reasons why they get so much criticism, a lot more than probably others, is that like you are forced to use them, or you're forced to like use that dex. That dex is all you're gonna have. So you have to look at your options, and you realize that first things first, some of these Pokemon are freaking unusable during the main story. Like there's none of them. There's some Pokemon that are just unusable during the main story. If you're going through the main story, and especially if you take advantage of the Lucky Egg, you are probably going to have, unless you do some serious grinding, which is hard, and there's no real easy way to rematch trainers except for the ones you can do once a day, but those are very limited. All you got is probably like 1 or 2 Pokemon at like level 54. 52, maybe like high 50, low 50s, high 40s. Maybe if you skip some trainers, obviously, I mean, it does a good job of like, I do appreciate the level scaling thing or the level experience thing, because it actually keeps your Pokemon like very, very, like I was able to keep my team pretty like in sync with each other throughout the whole adventure, a lot more than other Pokemon games, honestly. So it really, and like that was a good thing, but like some of these Pokemon are just like, they're so high level. Like, are you ever going to use Bravery in Black and White in the main story? Maybe, like, but you're going to be chucking around this Rufflet for so long. You're basically going to be fighting, like, you're going to be getting Bravery for like the Elite Four, which is like trash. Like, Bravery only for like the Elite Four. Obviously, Hydreigon is pretty much only useful in Versus. It's just too many issues. And that's like, just there's issues, and some of them also, like, I will be honest, a lot of these designs don't really work sometimes. Like Oshawott was pretty cool, but like these are kind of like my least favorite starters. They just don't really, none of them really work out well, except for like Oshawott maybe a little bit. But these are like some of the worst starters in my opinion. Also, 3 firefighting types in a row, like. So 3 Gen 4 and Gen 5 firefighting types. Please. And there's a reason why they haven't gone back to that since, which is pretty cool. Like, there is some, and then like, I think like some of the issues, there's also just a lot of slow psychic types that just aren't that interesting. There are some cool Pokemon, obviously like Crocodile was like MVP of my playthrough. That Pokemon is legendary. And there's a Pokemon I just didn't use. Obviously, Chandelure is awesome. And it's just like, it's just Pokemon that just don't have, defend the decks a lot. And there's some, again, like, I will defend, like, I think Trubbish, and Pokemon I will defend is Vanillite, or Vanilluxe. I ended up blast using it. That's obviously have its limitations, and you really don't want to, like, the issue is that, like, if you try to, like, actually, I'll sure be doing some of these big requests. If you actually like try to raise one from the earliest stages from a Vanillite, you're kind of stupid. It kind of sucks. Like, it's really hard to raise that way. But it's Vanillux, and especially, is really strong. It's got some really cool, things. So it's just that I will defend certain Pokemon, but there are some like the worst. And there's some cool Pokemon. It's a dex that, like, if it had like 100 classic Pokemon like it does in Black and White, it kind of fills it out more. And that's why, like, I do like having older Pokemon in the dex normally, as well as new Pokemon. And it's what they've done ever since. Especially, and that's why I think like games like Scarlet and Violet and actually is what they do well. Like, so you can pick. I mean, obviously, then it's up to you to use whatever you want. I mean, that's just options. And Pokemon is an inherently nostalgic centric franchise. Like, very nostalgic heavy. Man, the bus is going after me. Okay. It's just how it is. There's a Rowlet. Now, it's obviously... But, like, it's still a good game. Like, really good. Like, I had a blast playing it. And I understand why people say this is the peak of Pokemon. Because it really does, like, do a lot of things. Like, it does so many things right. Compared to even, like, the modern games. I think Scarlet and Violet and, like, starting with Legends of Arceus, we're kind of getting back into a way... Not really with difficulty too much. Although it remains to be seen for Scarlet and Violet, or for Legends of ZA. But at least story-wise, I see we're getting back into, like, a way more interesting way story-wise. And I'm interested to see what they do in the future, obviously. I'm interested to see, like, how they do it. I mean, like, N is one of the most interesting characters in Pokemon, in my opinion. AZ also is one of those interesting characters in Pokemon. So, but I know we're gonna see. Well, he's gonna get more. That's what I'm interested in. So we'll see what happens, but it just depends. Oh, that was a tangent. Just grinding Bluebird quests. Finally did over and over an hour. Salty sandwich. Oh man. It's still very fun. It is what it is though. Like, I do want to play through X and Y. I want to see what X and Y has to offer. And I mean, who knows? The thing is, X and Y does have some awesome Pokemon. Just Totodile. Alright. I'll also do this here. It's just how it is. I mean, again, Mega Dragonite looks pretty cool. It's a simple one, but it fits him. And, like, can we get Mega Flygon? Mega Flygon would be pretty cool, or Mega Milotic. Mega Milotic would be awesome. Anyway, I think I'll be done for now. This was fun. We got the 4 legendaries and did some blueberry quests, and I got to talk about some Pokemon. So I can stream Switch 2 stuff, although it obviously is still kind of a pain in the rear. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, guys, that's gonna be it for today. Yeah. Peace.